Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're all doing well this fine Wednesday. Good grief. Good grief. It's 10 a.m. here in the UK. I don't know how much sleep I've had. I've been dozing on and off all night. It's 3 a.m. I think in Arizona, Mountain Time. And I'm hoping for the next few hours there's going to be nothing else, because the last few hours have been absolutely wild. Now, I was going to do a recorded video, like with all of the updates that have happened, but I'm not in the right headspace to even construct and edit a video. So I've just come live and we can just talk about everything that's happened. So I've got a bunch of stuff lined up and let's just go through it all. I'm not promising that it's going to be in a logical format, but let's just go through it all. It's not a busy time, so hopefully the chat won't be insanely wild and we can just go through it all together. That's the best way I can deal with all of this stuff. Now, what I've been doing is YouTube Shorts, just updating. So over the last few hours, I've done 3 YouTube Shorts. So I think we kind of got the sense that something was going to go down, right? The people who were like the media and YouTubers who've been outside Nancy's home. I watched quite a lot of Dolly Vision coverage yesterday, and he was kind of saying there's something going to go down. Like there was just kind of this feeling like this something. And then there was the Domino's pizza guy who lightened the mood a little bit. Dear God, did you see that a Domino's delivery driver was able to walk straight past the sheriffs all the way up to Nancy's door to deliver a pizza? Now, I don't know whether it was a prank. Pima County Sheriff's Office weren't happy. They put a tweet out saying to the media, don't use a crime scene address to order pizzas. But yeah, so that was slightly humorous in a day that was really ominous. Then things broke. Things broke with the release. Kash Patel, who is the director of the FBI, released several photos that had been taken from surveillance video. So I did that in a video. So we can watch that first. Okay, I just put out a YouTube shot. I don't need the audio. So this was Kash Patel's tweet. And apparently they were, because they said at the press conference that they weren't able to get any video from Nancy's surveillance cameras because she didn't have a subscription, but they were able to access, the jiggery pokery that the FBI are able to do. And they managed to get some residual data in back-end systems. So even when these Nest cameras say they're not recording, clearly they obviously are. So they released these photos taken from, so that was the first one. And then they released several more. And those eyes, very distinctive. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is a woman. I don't think it is. There's facial hair that you can see on the video, because as well as these photos, which were screenshots, there was also a couple of videos there. You can see facial hair. Now, I know some people are saying, well, maybe it's fake. Maybe they put a fake beard on. I mean, yeah, I suppose. But I think that is a man. It's a male figure anyway. Thank you, the Quiet Observer, for 20 Australian dollars. You are so kind. You are so kind. What's he holding? Twigs. Twigs. So I don't know why. That's definitely a male body shape. And you can see there a pistol. So, again, look, is there two people here? Because in some of these pictures, there's no backpack and no gun. But apparently there's only one. So where's the backpack and the gun? Like there, no backpack, no gun. So does this person approach the house and then go back and get the backpack and the gun? Or do they put their backpack and the gun down? Or are there two people? But anyway, this is the video. So the backpack and the gun are evident here. And they're trying to take the camera off. Why don't they just smash it? So now they're looking around for something to help them. And they pick up some twigs. And then it goes to the next video. That's just repeated. It goes to the next video in a minute. And are they using those twigs to try and conceal the camera? Or use them to take the camera off? Now, the camera has gone. The camera has gone. Now, I don't know whether law enforcement took the camera, but the camera isn't there anymore. But this person is trying their best. I would have just picked up a rock and smashed the camera or clean it. Well, I don't think they're going to want to clean the camera. They want the camera obscured in some way. Or maybe there was, I don't know. I just don't know. So that was the first thing, right? That was the stuff that set the entire world alight. I've never seen anything quite this wild. I thought the Brian Laundrie situation was wild, but this is even wilder. This is even wilder. This guy isn't very bright. No, I mean, look, there's loads of rocks. There was like flower bed with rocks right near where he picked up those twigs. I'd have just got a rock and smashed the camera. Now, maybe he didn't think of that, or maybe he did think of that and thought that it would be too noisy. But you're in the middle of nowhere. So, I don't know. Maybe he thought it would set off an alarm. I don't know. I don't know. But then what we had was a SWAT team. So these SWAT team vehicles came out of Pima County Sheriff's Office, and no one could understand where these SWAT teams were going. And I don't know whether they were used. It doesn't appear that they were used, because the arrest, well, not arrest, it was a detention of this subject came next. So this is the subject. He's called Carlos. This is his mother-in-law. And let me just go to what happened. This is what happened to me. Like I woke up at about 3 o'clock in the morning because the dogs wanted to go out. So I checked. I just checked. I should stop doing this, but I checked the media to see if there was any updates, and it was literally just happened that this guy had been detained. So this is what I said at 3 a.m.
Detained for questioning. Doesn't say arrested. but detained for questioning in relation to the disappearance of 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie. A man is being detained for questioning. I don't know whether this is related to the thing that happened yesterday afternoon local time, the SWAT vehicles being seen, or whether it relates to trying to snow, you know, or whether it relates to the surveillance images that were released yesterday. Big day in this case.
Big day indeed. Big day indeed. However, I went back to sleep and I woke up to the news that they'd let him go. So this is what I posted just about an hour ago. Guys, I'm going to do a longer video later, but this is absolutely wild. The man they detained, someone called Carlos, has been released, according to Brian Enton.
They were questioning in the Nancy Guthrie investigation has been released. He is now out of custody. And apparently, I had interviewed his mother-in-law, and maybe she was insisting that he wasn't involved.
Yeah, the mother-in-law. Look, guys, did they get the wrong man? Trigger happy? Possibly. I mean, it was highly suspect. They were searching the house without a warrant. They detained him. Was he under arrest or what? It's insane. But I'm going to do a longer video later. So I'm here. I don't have the headspace to do a recorded video. So I'm here just to go through everything. So this is Carlos's mother-in-law. And she is distraught. She's beside herself that Carlos was delivering DoorDash with his wife. This is Josefina. Josefina's daughter is married to Carlos, and he was detained. Now, I'm not clear whether this detention was an arrest, because they've just said detained. Just said detained. Now, in the UK, they can detain you for up to 24 hours without charging you. This is what happens in the UK. They have to caution you, like read you your rights, and they have to give you access to a lawyer. But they can detain you and question you and carry on questioning you, even if you say nothing, for 24 hours. If it's a serious crime, they can go to a judge and get an extra 12 hours. So that takes you to 36 hours. Or if it's a really serious crime, like a murder, they can go to a judge and get a 96 hours of detention without charge. And regardless of what you say or what you don't say, or what your lawyer says or what your lawyer doesn't say, they can still question you for 96 hours. Now, if you're suspected of terrorism offences, they can detain you for up to 14 days without charge. That's beyond the pale to me, because they can make up anything to detain you, to say, oh, you're a terrorist. So I don't like this. I think it's horrible, but that's what they can do in the UK. But I've never heard of them being detained without an arrest in the US. But apparently there are circumstances where you can be detained. So you're not there for a voluntary interview. You are actually detained, but not under arrest. So if you're under arrest, they need probable cause to arrest you, right? There needs to be a sign off of something. There needs to be probable cause. But being detained without an arrest, there's just a reasonable suspicion. Thank you to the person who just gave me £2. Thank you so much, Lorraine. It is crazy. So Josefina is the homeowner, and her house was searched without a warrant. She didn't consent. They just walked in. Imagine the scenario that Carlos was the guy. And there was evidence in that house of Nancy Guthrie. Like, I don't know, some of her clothes or something that connected him directly to Nancy. Imagine what a field day the defense would have, because there's no consent and no warrant. So presumably that would mean a defense would be able to very legitimately claim that this search was unlawful and get that any product, you know, the fruit of the poisonous tree, thrown out. You'd need Judge Gull. You'd need a judge as corrupt as Judge Gull to allow that. So I'm glad they got the wrong guy, because it would have been awful, absolutely awful for everybody if this guy was the right guy. They did find evidence, but it ended up being thrown out of court because they didn't have the legal standing to go into that house and get that information. Or do the FBI work to different rules? I hope not. Anyway, this is the interview that Brian Entin did with Josephina. So Carlos is still detained at this stage. All right. When she's talking, and she's distraught. Okay, and I will say this is about an hour south of Tucson in Rio Rico, which is a border town. It's almost on the Mexican border. So you can see here the time, 9:47 p.m. Mountain Time. So Carlos is still detained at this time. They had a warrant, did they? Because she doesn't seem to think they did. If they had a warrant, fine. If they had a warrant, fine. But that's not what she says. There you go. We don't need a search warrant. Now, she could be lying, or they could have got a warrant during the search, which again is highly suspect. Yeah. We don't need a search warrant, she says. That they said, we don't need a search warrant. Okay, just because the FBI are there, they don't need a search warrant. Well, okay, if they had a search warrant and she's lying, fine. Or she was that confused that she got things wrong, fine. But I was furious. I was absolutely furious when I listened to this the first time. Video's not playing. Video's not playing. Okay. Weird. Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. You should be able to see it now. Okay. So this is Josephina.
Son-in-law, is that right?
Yeah.
Tell me how this happened. Where was he when he was detained?
My daughter and him were, and the kids, my grandkids, were doing DoorDash when they got stopped here, and I don't know what kind of questions they asked them. But when we got home, I wasn't at home. When we got home, we found out that they took my son out. They went inside. They busted the doors from my house. They went inside and took my son to the living room and had him handcuffed, and then got him outside. That's when the time that we got home.
So the son was inside. So he was also handcuffed. So the son happened to be in the house. Josephina wasn't home. Carlos and his wife and children were doing DoorDash. So all these feds just descended on this home. I know he's been released. I'm trying to go through things in chronological order. So I've already said that he has been released, but this was during the few hours that he was detained.
And we asked what was going on, and they couldn't say anything. And they said, and I asked him to have a search warrant to go in my house. And they said, we don't need a search warrant. We could go do that if we want to.
There you go. We don't need a search warrant. We can do that if we want to. Again, if she's lying, fine. If they got a search warrant during the search, that's highly dodgy, but okay. She could be confused, but this is what she's stating. This is why I was furious when I first heard this interview.
So I told him, yeah,
and if they had a warrant, let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see the warrant. Because if there was a warrant, they had to have probable cause to get that warrant. Let's see that warrant. Let's see the probable cause documentation for this search. Let's do that. I'm big on this since the Delphi case, since what they did to Rick Allen. So I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm over all of this nonsense that goes on in cases. I'm over it. And again, you'd need a judge as corrupt as Judge Gull, and I hope there aren't many of them around the world, dear God, that would allow any evidence that came from an unlawful search. Dear me. I think they wanted Nancy. Well, yeah, but still, bashing someone's door down, entering someone's property without a warrant? No.
You need a search warrant. Why did you break my door? You took my son the wrong way. I mean, you hurt him. His wrists were with the handcuffs.
Let me ask you, were you familiar with the Nancy Guthrie case? Had you seen that she was missing?
I saw it on Facebook.
Maybe they were given permission to enter. No, this is the homeowner. This is the property owner, Josephina. She did not give them consent to search. She said, you need a warrant. And they said, we don't need a warrant. Judge Canoni. She wasn't as bad as Judge Gull. She was no way in... No, she wasn't as bad as Judge Gull. She had her moments, but she wasn't as bad as her.
But since I don't know her, I didn't read what was going on. The story.
Did they take electronic devices at all? Did they take your phone?
I don't have anything. They took my phone. They took my phone, my husband's phone, my daughter's phone, my grandkid's phone, and my son-in-law's phone.
Let me show you these pictures really quick, Josephina, of, just give me a second, I got to pull them up on my phone. These are the pictures from outside Nancy Guthrie's house. This is who they're looking for. Do the eyes look like your son-in-law at all?
No, not at all.
Do you see the mouth?
Yeah, no, he doesn't look at all.
Brian, can you ask what her son-in-law's name is?
What's his name?
It's Carlos Palazuelos.
Sorry, what's his name?
Carlos.
Carlos.
Yes.
Carlos.
What's his last name?
Palazuelos.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. So.
And does he work in Tucson? Would he ever be in Tucson?
He's in Tucson all week. He works delivering boxes for like UPS and he works with a company. And I told him you can call the company that he works there and verify that he's working. And
is your daughter also detained?
No, they just let my daughter and my grandkids go.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Josefina.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the latest here, Jesse. They took her phone too, her husband's phone, and her daughter's phone, and obviously her son-in-law's phone, and they are searching her house right now. So this is sort of an unfolding situation.
Yeah, well, an unfolding situation. But a few hours later, he was released. This is him. This is Carlos. This is Carlos. So he's saying he was arrested. He's saying he was arrested. So this is Carlos. This is the guy that they detained and then a few hours later released. So he's a bigger guy, chunkier guy than the one at the door. Not sharing. Oh, dear God. I'm so bad at this. Honestly, I'm really tired. I'm really tired. So this is Carlos here. So this is him speaking to reporters when he was released.
It was the FBI agent in Santa Cruz County, and they told me I was being detained for kidnapping. And I asked them, like, well, kidnapping of who? And they told me this lady, I don't know her name. And
Nancy Guthrie?
Yeah, that's her. And I told them I work in Tucson for GLS. I might have delivered a package to your house, but I never kidnapped anybody. They hold me from like 4 to right now.
Had you heard of Nancy Guthrie before tonight?
Never until today.
Never until today.
Yeah.
They have put out, the Pima County Sheriff's Department put out that they had detained a person of interest. And I guess that's you?
I guess so.
How do you feel about that? People are watching this all over. I mean,
I'm not happy, you know. Like, I mean, I'm glad they're doing their job, right? But they're chasing the wrong person, and they should be chasing other leads. You know what I mean?
anything that you guys need to tell us or want to tell us about tonight? Just, we're trying to figure out what's going on.
That's just insane.
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Be good. Have a good night.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I was arrested for kidnapping, but I didn't do it.
And so what, how did this all start?
Dear God. Dear God. No, the guy ain't guilty. No, I don't think he is. Like, he's having a laugh about it. He's either the coolest cat on the block and can face it all down, or the most he's ever done is deliver a package. And maybe that's why they focused on him. Maybe he's delivered a package recently to Nancy's house. Who knows? Who knows? So CNN have been doing this running blog. So detained person released. Authorities released a person detained for questioning in Rio Rico, about 60 miles south of Tucson. Authorities earlier searched a car and a home in the city. So that would be Carlos's car and Josephina's home. Nancy Guthrie's whereabouts remain unknown at this time. So he didn't know who the woman was, works as a delivery driver. So the search is over. They've stopped searching the house. Now been released. Search of Rio Rico property is complete, authorities say. Investigators have completed their search of the property. In a statement just before 1 a.m. Wednesday local time. Still ongoing. So they're basically back to square one. Now, Brian Entin did have a guy on. So, didn't mean to do that. Okay. So this is an ex-FBI guy. I thought this was interesting. I thought this was an interesting interview. Now, this is Brian Entin's own channel. So this isn't on News Nation. This is Brian Entin's own channel. And he had this, I can't remember his name. Let me just go back a bit. So he's got the interview with Josephina. And let me just go back to see if he says who this person is. I don't know how he is still standing. Like, he is everywhere. He is everywhere. Okay. I want the guy's name. So those are the swap trucks. Now, we don't know what happened to those swap trucks. I'm muted. Can everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Or is it just the video that's muted? I may have to just reshare it. Hold on. StreamYard does this every now and again. Hear me. Okay, just a video. It should be okay now. But we don't know what happened with these SWAT trucks. But I just want to get to this interview. Does he say his name?
Connected, though we don't know at this point.
Can you hear that now?
What's going on behind
Can you hear Brian now?
the scenes? But it seems like there's a lot of movement. So this is my conversation with Steve. So
someone called Steve. Maybe he says his name at the beginning. But he's an ex-FBI guy.
I'm joined now by Steve Moore, former FBI agent.
Okay, Steve Moore.
Thank you again, Steve. I'm in the car right now. We made it to Rio Rico, which is right near the border. And right outside the car here is the home where they're doing a search warrant right now for this, what they're calling a subject. First of all, what do you make of the word subject? Because they're not saying person of interest and they're not saying suspect.
Well, because FBI doesn't use the term subject as suspect. They use the term subject, which means the person that they believe is responsible for the crime. If the FBI is actually using that term, that means he's their guy.
Well, this guy, he may be eating his words right now. Because it was only like 3 hours later, Carlos was released. Definitely not the right guy. Poor guy.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're searching the house now. There's apparently a search warrant. We spoke to the
Never give permission to search. She didn't. She didn't give them permission. She said, "Where's your warrant?" And they said, "We don't need one." She didn't give them permission.
the subject's mother-in-law, who says that they took her cell phone, they took everyone's cell phone who was in the house. What do you make of this development? I mean, do you think this is going to be substantial?
Well, judging from how confident the FBI is on this, I would say that they feel pretty confident in it.
Dear. He's eating his words. He really is eating his words.
It's not a guarantee. And they know that, which is why they are gathering more information before they continue beyond the investigative detention. And investigative detention can only last a certain amount of time before.
She said she did give consent in a different interview. Okay, well, if she did, that's fine.
It becomes kind of stale. And at that point, it's kind of considered an arrest, whether or not you say you're under arrest or not.
Are they allowed to?
Okay. So they can just take you and you just have to assume that you're under arrest. This is crazy.
To keep someone detained? Like, could this person leave if they wanted to right now?
No, that's the point of investigative detention. But investigative detention is a very, very specific category, and it's really something the courts have looked at. So if you
So investigative detention. So it's kind of like almost an arrest, but not quite. So basically, this is being detained with no probable cause. That's what I'm thinking between the lines here. The shit they do in the UK. They detain people with virtually no evidence whatsoever and keep them. And if you're accused of being a terrorist, they can keep you for 2 weeks. They can keep you for 2 weeks here in the UK with no charge, no seeing a judge. They can just keep you. Man.
If you detain somebody for an interview or for investigation, you can't keep them 24 hours. That is no longer an investigative detention. And I'll bet all of you and most of your visitors or your viewers have been in an investigative detention. A car stop by the highway patrol, that is an investigative detention. You are not free to leave, but you are not under arrest.
Okay, a car stop. All right.
When you're talking kidnapping, the whole process has a little bit more gravity to it.
Well, no, they still have to arrest you. I don't like this. I just don't like this. I'm glad that Carlos has been released and he's not the right guy, because in my opinion, the FBI have been really trigger happy here. Now, I understand that, yes, there is an 84-year-old lady that they're trying to find. I understand that. I get it. But let's just imagine the scenario where they didn't find Nancy, but they found some evidence in Carlos's house or his car. And then they go to court and everything gets thrown out because they didn't follow the law, their own law. They didn't follow their own law. So I'm very glad that Carlos, this is Carlos for those just coming in, he has been released. He is not the guy, and he can even have a laugh about it. It's very scary when it happens. Very scary. Yeah, very scary. Look, in the main, I support the cops, in the main. But what I don't like is when they overstep. And it appears that in this scenario, they overstepped.
How'd they stop you here? You were driving here?
Yeah,
or?
my wife was driving.
Your wife was driving?
Because they were following me. And once I saw they were following me, I pulled over. They didn't even have to put a traffic stop or anything. I got off the car, and they arrested me as soon as I got out the car. They didn't even tell me what was going on until the detectives got here, like 2 hours before I got arrested. And then the detectives got here. It was the FBI agent in Santa Cruz County. And they told me I was being detained for kidnapping. And I asked them, like, well, kidnapping of who? And they told me this lady, I don't know her name. And
Nancy Guthrie?
Yeah, that's her. And I told them I work in Tucson for GLS. I might have delivered a package to your house, but I never kidnapped anybody. They hold me from like 4 to right now.
Had you heard of Nancy Guthrie before tonight?
Never until today.
Never until today.
Yeah.
They have put out, the Pima County Sheriff's Department put out that they had detained a person of interest. And I guess that's you?
I guess so.
How do you feel about that? People are watching this all over. I mean,
I'm not happy, you know. Like, I'm glad to do the job.
Look, he can laugh about it, but this is not nice. This is really not nice. And look, he's either the coolest cat on the block or he knows absolutely nothing about this. Absolutely nothing about this. So we don't know he didn't do it. Well, he's the coolest cat on the block then. He's the coolest cat on the block. That's all I'm going to say. Because he seems pretty chilled about it to me. So.
Right? But they're chasing the wrong person. And they should be chasing other leads. You know what I mean?
Anything that you guys need to.
All right. He did another interview today. Oh, I haven't seen that. This is just the reporters getting him as he comes out. And initially he didn't want to talk, and then he was like, "Yeah, all right." Gave his side of the story. So yeah. Now the person at the door. This person at the door. There's been so much speculation. Just want to have a quick word about this. The person's eyes, right? There's been a lot of talk about who this person might be based on their eyes. Okay, let me just stop that. So some people are convinced it's a woman. I think it's a guy. I think it looks like they've got trimmed eyebrows. I mean, they may have trimmed eyebrows, but you can't really see the full eyebrows because of the ski mask. You can detain someone empty without a warrant if someone may be in danger. Okay. The FBI absolutely does not need a search warrant. Okay. Well, it's not the kind of world I would like to live in. However, moving on. So there's a lot of people saying, actually, what we'll do some comparisons here. There's a lot of people saying that this person looks like Tommaso's bandmate. So Tommaso is Annie Guthrie's husband. And let me just stop sharing this, and then I'm going to share my whole screen. And we can compare them side by side. So Annie Guthrie's husband. What you do? Just open. There we go. Annie Guthrie's husband. His bandmate looks like this guy. So let's see. This is the band. So that's Tommaso. Definitely not him, in my opinion. This guy looks younger. Like, he looks like in his 20s. Difficult to tell. But this is the bandmate. Somebody called, I forget his name. Forget the guy's name. But he does have some charges for burglary, robbery, theft, and embezzlement. Dominic Aaron Lee Evans. I don't know how long ago those charges were. But to me, I don't think that's the same. Those are the same eyes. To me. Like, this guy, I don't know what you would call it, but like the top of his eyebrows are folded a little bit. I don't know what that's called. And hang a little bit. Whereas this guy, he's got very open eyes. Now, maybe it's because in this, he's kind of smiling slightly. And this one, he's probably nervous or scared. Hooded eyes. Thank you. Hooded eyes. I think I've got hooded eyes. Like your eyebrows, like, not your eyebrows, your eyelids. Your eyelids, like, fall down a little bit. I think I've got that. Whereas this guy, he doesn't seem to have. This guy's younger than this guy. I don't think it's the same person. This is interesting, this other one. Though I'm not convinced that... Hold on, we'll come to that in a minute. We'll come to the ransom in a minute. This is interesting. Now, apparently, there have been reports in Nancy's area of somebody trying to break in to places. Now, that's the best screenshot I could get. Some surveillance video was released. That's the best screenshot I could get of this guy trying to get in to people's properties. So I think the jury's out as to whether that guy and that guy are the same. Because how can you tell from... I mean, that really is the best screenshot I could take. And then other people are saying that it's this guy. Now, this guy is Derek Kallela, and he has already been arrested for sending a fake ransom text message to Annie Guthrie and Tommaso. So this guy's already in detention federally. Like, they got him straight away. So people are saying it's this guy. And he's got more similar eyes, honestly. But I still can't say it's the same person. It does look more like him, yeah. It does. It does look more like him. Now, he was detained pretty quickly after sending text messages. Obviously, they just traced his phone. But the current ransom, the 6 million in Bitcoin, the deadline was Monday, 5 p.m. That came and went And as far as we know, there hasn't been any further communication between the person behind these ransom demands. So that it was Monday evening. So Nancy had been gone maybe a day and a half. TMZ and a couple of local news channels, KOLD and KGUN, got this ransom demand whereby they could pay 4 million, was it 4 million Bitcoin by Thursday, or the second deadline was Monday 5 p.m. But if you waited that long, you had to pay 6 million, which is insane to me. Kidnappers don't work this way, surely. Or maybe I've just watched too many movies, because hours before, like the family said that they were willing to pay, but nothing was paid. And then hours before the deadline expired, Savannah Guthrie came on saying that she needs help. It's the hour of desperation. She needs help. So they didn't pay it. However, Harvey from TMZ did an interview, which I thought was really interesting. Oh, there we go. Which I thought was really interesting. Not that one. Go to that one. Bring these back. And apparently, overnight, there has been movement on the Bitcoin account. So I've got too many windows open now. Not that one. Not that one. Okay, got the right one now. Okay, can everybody see the right one? Yeah, so this is Harvey, founder of TMZ, and this is on Fox News. Harvey Levin reported overnight, my time, that there'd been $300 deposited in the Bitcoin account. So this feels to me like the FBI trying to draw this person out, because if they access this Bitcoin wallet, maybe they can trace them. That's what I'm assuming is happening here. But let's just have a little listen of this. This is Fox News.
It was just before 4 o'clock LA time, 7 o'clock Eastern time. There was activity for the first time, Sean, in that Bitcoin account, the link of which is in that first ransom letter that we obtained. We've been checking it every few minutes, and for the first time it surfaced.
Anybody could have put Bitcoin in there. Yeah, but if the person whose account it was tried to access it, like, it doesn't matter whether the FBI put it in or whether just some randomer put it in. Like TMZ could have put it in to see whether they could draw out the person whose account it was. Because I assume once they try to access it, then their identity becomes more... I don't know how cryptocurrency works. I don't have it. I've never had it. I've never tried to get it. I don't know how it works. But presumably, if it's your account and you access it, there is a window there. There's an opportunity there for the FBI to swoop in and try to trace you. There is so much to catch up on. It's absolutely wild. It's wild. It's wild.
It seems like whoever this person is that sent you and TMZ that letter had been very careful up to this point. Now, KGUN Channel 9 out in Tucson is also confirming the activity in the account. They say the activity is less than $300. Can you confirm that?
So there are reasons that I have been careful with my words, and it obviously has to do with sourcing, and I am just not at liberty to talk about amounts right now, Sean. I just, you know, this is a complicated case, and we gave our word on something, and we're going to stick by that.
The Bitcoin transaction can be frozen if one of the big miners like Mara pick it up and are leaned on. They can move it to additional addresses and then tumble it. They won't use an exchange with KYC. That is alien to me. I don't know how any of this works. But I wonder if FBI have done facial recognition yet. Well, with just eyes, it's very difficult to... I asked ChatGPT and got a very generic face, and I've seen a lot of people do the same. I'll show you what ChatGPT gave me in a minute.
Totally respect that, and we don't want to do anything that's going to hurt the investigation or this case in any way. Okay, let's look at this development today. I think it's the biggest break, the only break we've really had since this began.
All right, so they go on to talk about Carlos's detention, which is no longer a thing. Pretty Lies and Alibis coloured the image. So Pretty Lies and Alibis is a podcast. Her name is Gigi. She's a correspondent for Law and Crime Network. She does a lot of like trials and stuff. So she did say that like the colour could be wrong. Like we don't know that these are brown gloves. They could be black gloves. They could be blue gloves. They could be red gloves. And if that colour's wrong, then the colour of that mask will also be wrong. But that certainly does give you more of a human type expression, and it makes you feel that this is maybe a Hispanic person. But again, the colorization of this might be wrong. This could well be, you know, somebody with very pale skin rather than someone with olive skin. Let me just show you what ChatGPT gave me. It argued with me at first. It wouldn't do it at first. But seeing as I did it, I might as well show you. Okay. All right. This is what it gave me. So it gave me a generic white guy. That I don't think was very good. I don't think that looks like the guy. But it did argue with me at first. It argued with me. Look at it. I can't really reconstruct a real face from this. I gave him that picture. There's not enough visible info, but I can do a very rough, non-identifying guess based on only what is visible with a big grain of salt. Eyes fairly even spaced, almond shaped with a focused alert look. Brows seem straight to slightly angled. The mask suggests a moderate brow ridge, not extremely heavy or very flat. Head lightly oval to slightly rectangular rather than round based on how the mask sits and stretches. Nose and mouth completely hidden, so these could vary a lot. Nothing reliable to infer there. Overall vibe. The visible features don't suggest anything extreme, possibly a fairly average symmetrical face rather than a very distinctive one. So it asked me if I wanted to create an artistic cinematic approximation. So I said yes, and that's what it gave me. That guy looks a lot like, what's his name? The rapper. Professor Green. Do you think he looks like Professor Green? I think he looks like Professor Green. I think he looks like Professor Green. But this one's a good one from Pretty Lies and Alibis. But again, we don't know whether this coloration is correct. This could easily be somebody with very pale skin. It probably is someone with nondescript, kind of average features. And I think they're young. I think this is a person in their 20s. I would say early 30s maximum. I don't think it looks like Tommaso. I don't think it looks like Tommaso's bandmate. But that's just my opinion. Not up on rappers. Can't remember Professor Green. Neither am I. I'm not up on rappers either. But I remember watching a documentary about him to do with suicide. I think his dad committed suicide. I'll show you Professor Green. I don't know his music. He's kind of older now. But it reminded me a little bit. Kind of got a similar kind of fair shape to Professor Green. It's the person it reminded me of. But yeah, so I think that's everything. Is there anything that I've missed? I know I've not engaged much with the chat, but I'm trying to keep this reasonably brief so that people who are just waking up can access it and just get the information. He has been released. He has indeed. He has indeed. Before I go, I'm just going to play this once more. This is Carlos as he left detention. So this is him being interviewed by ABC as he left detention. That's about it so far. That's enough, isn't it? That's enough for now, isn't it?
You tell us or want to tell us about tonight? We're trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. Be good. Have a good night.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
I like this guy. He's like, no, I don't want to talk. Oh, actually.
I didn't do it.
And so how did this all start? How did they stop you here? You were driving here?
Yeah,
or?
my wife was driving.
Your wife was driving?
Because they were following me. And once I saw they were following me, I pulled over. They didn't even have to put a traffic stop or anything. I got off the car, and they arrested me as soon as I got out the car. They didn't even tell me what was going on until the detectives got here, like 2 hours before I got arrested. And then the detectives got here. It was the FBI agent in Santa Cruz County. And they told me I was being detained for kidnapping. And I asked them, like, well, kidnapping of who? And they told me this lady, I don't know her name. And
Nancy Guthrie?
Yeah, that's her. And I told them I work in Tucson for GLS. I might have delivered a package to your house, but I never kidnapped anybody. They hold me from like 4 to right now.
Had you heard of Nancy Guthrie before tonight?
Never until today.
Never until today.
Yeah.
They have put out, the Pima County Sheriff's Department put out that they had detained a person of interest. And I guess that's you?
I guess so.
He's either the coolest cat on the block or this guy is innocent. You don't laugh like that if you're guilty.
How do you feel about that? People are watching this all over. I mean,
I'm not happy, you know. Like, I mean, I'm glad they're doing their job, right? But they're chasing the wrong person, and they should be chasing other leads. You know what I mean?
Anything?
Yeah, so I've no idea why they chose him. I think my personal opinion is that he delivered a package to Nancy's house. He works in Tucson. It's about 60 miles away. He's a delivery driver. And if he's recently delivered a package to Nancy's house and he's been very unlucky, they've got him and they've decided, oh, well, he's near the Mexican border. We better nab him before he goes over the border because he might run. He might be holding Nancy in his house. And they actually searched his mother's house. So that's where we're at. What time is it in Tucson? So it's 11 o'clock here. So it'll be 4 a.m., I think. 4 a.m. in Tucson. So hopefully there's a couple of hours of quiet time before the world starts waking up over there and it all starts again. But from where we were at yesterday to where we're at today, it's like night and day. So much happened yesterday. And I kind of feel that they're getting closer, but they're not there yet. I think the FBI are desperate. for, you know, to catch them. Of course they are. And they want to find Nancy. They want to find Nancy preferably alive. There's a lot of eyes on this case. This is huge internationally. The president is on it. You know, President Trump is on it. So the FBI want to do a good job, but they're being trigger happy. And that is problematic. In my opinion, that's problematic. Flo, been a member for 13 months. 13 months. Thank you so much. Can I put side by side of... Oh, the comments gone. I think it was... Just a minute. I didn't quite catch the comment, but I think it was the person with the backpack and then the person without the backpack. I think that's what that was. Just let me load those up. Let's find the right pictures. I need to sort out my files. My files are just all over the place. So that's the person with the backpack. I'll show you in a minute. I'm just loading them up before I do. Right, that's the person without it. Okay. Okay. Now I'll have to reshare. Okay. So there's the person without the backpack. And then that's the person with. I think it's the same person. But because we've got no timestamp, we don't know whether they approached the house first with no backpack or gun, so that you can see clearly because it's got reflective stripes. They got this backpack. And then this, I think, is the strap for the backpack. Like, I've got a backpack that you can, like, if you're hiking and you want to stop it from moving, you can, like, it's got, like, little toggles and you can strap it across your chest. So it basically holds the straps in place. So you've got this little pistol thing here hanging down, and then you've got this backpack. So it's they were in the same clothes. Can't really tell with the shoes very well, but it's the same body shape, the same jacket, the same trousers, the same gloves, the same ski mask. The only thing that's different is this. In this image, there's the backpack and the gun. So I originally, when I saw this, I thought that's two different people. But when you study it, I think it's the same person. I just don't know why they're standing here with no backpack, and then what's happening? I don't know. I don't profess to have a clue what was in this person's head. The fact that they decided to try to dismantle the camera by picking up some twigs kind of gives you the mindset of this person. But if the ransom stuff is real, I've been saying all along that I think the ransom demand is a fake. It's an elaborate fake. However, the abduction is real. The abduction, it's not some kind of psyop. It's not some kind of weird publicity stunt. That's real. Nancy really has been taken. However, what I'm not sure about is whether the ransom demand was real. So this person clearly isn't the brightest tool in the tool shed. Not the brightest tool at all. That they couldn't even just pick up a rock and like just smash the lens on the camera rather than picking up loads of twigs and trying to, I don't know, whatever they were trying to do with it. Doesn't seem really bright to me. So is that person bright enough to be able to hide behind an account to try to get $6 million? Maybe you might have book smarts, but not street smarts. People accuse me of that. that I'm book smart, but not street smart. Well, test me then, because I can handle myself very well. Thank you very much. But, yeah. I think he's white, not Hispanic. It could be either. Could be either. Gun is Mexican carry style. I thought holsters, like you put them to the side. Or have I been just watching too many like Western movies, you know, where Clint Eastwood pulls out the double, the double barrels and bang, bang. Oh dear. Thought there was a suspicious son of a neighbour near Nancy. Oh, I haven't heard that. They have been searching. So they were searching around Annie's neighbourhood yesterday afternoon. That was before all this went down, though. That was before all this was released. So the first thing that happened yesterday, which seems to pale into insignificance now, given everything else that's happened, but they were searching around Annie's neighbourhood. Now, Annie lives like 10, 12 minutes drive away, so several miles away. So why were they searching like a barn? Dolly Vision had a drone up, and they were searching like this barn or outbuilding kind of thing of one of the neighbours. But then, you know, they clearly didn't find anything. And then all of this kicked off with the release of these photos and then these two videos. So this is where we are. This is where we're at. And the man that was detained, for those just coming in, the man that was detained has been released. He can laugh about it. He's not happy about it, but he can laugh about it. And in my opinion, he was the wrong guy. So I hope that the FBI are a little bit more considered and a little bit more careful in who they start detaining, because we could end up with 10 of these situations where we're on this roller coaster of someone who has a very loose connection to Nancy, like, I don't know, the mailman or someone who delivered a package 6 months ago gets detained and interrogated. I don't want to see that personally. I don't. But obviously, time's of the essence, and if someone is holding Nancy and she's still alive, I can understand absolutely why they're desperate like this. But from a criminal justice perspective, from playing the long game, it's not good. It's not good for justice. So anyway, that's my 2 penneth on everything. I will be back later if there's more developments. If they're just kind of very like stuff that I want to put out really quickly, I'll do YouTube shorts. If there's something big that develops, I'll go live. So that's where we're at. Hopefully there'll be a couple of hours now where things are quiet because they're asleep. Hopefully Brian Entin and JLR and all the others that are out there, Dolly, they've been able to have a good night's sleep. And I haven't had much sleep. I might try and have a nap, actually. I might try and have a nap, just in case I need to be sharp later on. Who knows? Who knows? Might be a fake mustache. Maybe. All right, let's just say a few thank yous. So, Quiet Observer, $20 Australian earlier on. Daughter of Scotland, sorry I missed your message. Member for 54 months. Daughter of Scotland is my longest term member. Lorraine, member for 14 months. We had another. It's not showing me. Oh, here we are. We got £2. Thank you so much from Lorraine. And Flo has been a member for 13 months. So thank you all. Thank you all for joining me. And I'm going to chuck some free memberships at you just before we leave. I always forget to do this, if it will allow me to give free memberships away. It used to. Maybe it won't. It used to allow me to do free memberships. Like 10 free memberships. It's not giving me the option now. Oh, well. Oh, well. Oh, well. I was going to do that, but it won't let me. Okay. Then I won't. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll keep you up to date as things happen. Thanks, as always, to the mods. And, yeah, I'll see you soon. I'm going to have a nap now. Bye, guys.